everybody, it's Kelly from Loch Briar Knits. Welcome to the Loch Briar Knits podcast. And it is July 28th, which is a Sunday. And it's really sad that I had to think about that. So it is a sunny day. It's going to be stinking hot. It was stinking hot yesterday, and we've been going through a bit of a heat wave. So I don't have as much knitting content as I had hoped, but I do have some. So administration, I'll put all of my social media links down below in the drop down bar so you can check out. I'm most instant on Instagram. I'm most active on Instagram. And there's also a Facebook page. There's my Loch Briar Knits hand-dyed yarn company, which is on Etsy. And there's a Ravelry page for the podcast Loch Briar Knits. And I think that's everything. We have no other administration because I like to go administration light any chance I can get. And yeah, so I've got like this usual rogue section of hair. I don't know why this does not want to behave. Okay. That looks kind of dumb and it won't last, will it? No. Rogue hair. What else? Oh, this is episode 60. And let's see, we've got some works in progress, no hos, no foes. And I'm looking around trying to see because I've sort of scattered things around. I'm going to move them. There we go. I'm drinking coffee this morning because it's only 9 o'clock. And I haven't had my second cup yet. So this is the cup I got on our road trip last week to Lunenburg. There's the other side. I love this mug. It's like tin. So it's only 9 o'clock in the morning, so I need my second cup of coffee. Yeah, so let's dive in. Let's dive in, people. But there's some acquisitions because I acquired. And works in progress. And also a couple of things in the queue. Thanks to the acquisitions. So let's get rolling. Because it's been a stinking hot, I only had a few days to work on my courage shell, but I did put a dent in it. I'm in the last section before the end. So this is the courage shawl by Shannon Cook, and I'm knitting it out of Cascade yarns in the, I don't know what they just number the colors, but this is sort of like the the burgundy claret color, and my other main color is the one that's attached there right now, which is the orange, and it's kind of like a burnt orange. So these are both Cascade yarn, and then this one is Barocco something. What kind? Which? There we are. Ultra Alpaca, and I think that's just got a number 2. Yes, 62183. So I'm gonna have all the information on what I used. Rogue hair. Could be the name of the episode. I'm going to have all the information on my Ravelry project page, which I think I have to update. But I'm going to have I'm almost done. And, oops, oh no, I haven't even cracked the second balls yet for the two main colors. And I still have a fair bit left over for the gray. I still have that left on the burgundy claret color. So, set that down there. So yeah, I'm going to have a fair bit left over. Honestly, I would be surprised if I even ended up using the second ball for the orange. So I think when I left you last, I just want to make sure I don't knock this off the needles. How did I do this last time? It looked like a poncho. Here we go. So I just sat on paper. Oh, the pattern. Okay. This, I'm trying to see through this so I can see if it's on the screen. I think it's on the screen. I think when I left, like on the last podcast, I might have been here or here. I think I was around here. So I've done this section here, and now I'm starting what will be this section again, because you kind of do repeats. And then I think I basically knit one more section of this and stop kind of at what they're calling the train tracks here. And then I think that's kind of when you hit the end. So stand up here a little bit. The light's kind of blowing it out because, again, I'm down in the basement. So yeah, this is, and of course it's worsted weight yarn, so it goes along pretty quickly, but now that it's reached the point where it's it's got a wingspan, which is fairly long, it's taken a little longer to do. So my progress has kind of slowed down significantly, sort of aided and abetted by the incredibly humid 30 plus degree weather we've been having. So, we usually get a bit of that in the summer. I'm from Nova Scotia, Canada, so we're right by the ocean. So we don't get dry heat. We get like wet, humid heat, which is kind of gross. But I love being by the ocean. I don't think I could ever really move away from the ocean. But every now and then I think, I wonder what my hair would look like in dry heat. Because my hair is actually not straight. It's wavy and kind of curly in spots. But because I live by the ocean, what that turns into is frizz. So I always end up having to straighten my hair. But my hairdresser said if I lived in Calgary, I would have lovely curls. So I think I need to at least visit Calgary to find that out. So this is kind of where we're at now. So I am enjoying it. It's mosaic knitting is what's used to kind of get the detail of the color. And it's very easy. It's the first time I've done mosaic knitting. I'm really enjoying it. It's a very, intuitive knit. I still have to kind of think when I'm doing the slip stitch sections so that I don't lose my train of thought, which happens very quickly and usually to disastrous results. So I have had to think back a few times where I realized that I didn't slip when I should have, or I slipped when I shouldn't have. And then that'll kind of throw the whole thing off. This is what it looks like actually from the back. So it's very like with the slipped stitch. It's actually very kind of neat. I'll hold that up. I think you can see. I can't see through this thing to the screen, so I'm assuming. I'll find out in editing. But it's going to be a great project, or a great project to have finished for the fall. And I love the colors. To me, they feel very fallish. So that's the Courage Shawl by Shannon Cook. If you are looking for a really nice worsted weight shawl for the fall, I highly recommend this one. I love it. It's an easy knit. It's a fun, entertaining knit. And with the worsted weight yarn, it goes by pretty quick. So that is my first whip. I am really, weather permitting, hoping to have this completed by the next podcast. Famous last words. Sorry, I gotta reach down here to get the check bags. Oh, the hair. I did cut it for the summer, but I really like having longer hair, so I didn't want to lose the long hair, but I cut it short in the back because I figured that would be cooler for the summer. So it's like my reverse mullet. It's like, you know, business in the back, party in the front. I'm styling. What else have we got? Oh, yes. So I did a little sock knitting. So I realized that we're, 5 months away from Christmas? How did that happen? And so to avoid the rushed Christmas knitting, I wanted to start early this year. And what I didn't realize, these socks are actually for me. So I'm going to move up a little. So this is Evie Knits self-striping yarn, and this is her Elegant Christmas colorway, which I didn't even realize until I was taking the tag off. Let's see if I can find it. So there it is. So this is her self-striping sock, and it is her Elegant Christmas. So, and then she kind of like right down here will list how it stripes. So it goes gold, green, silver, green, which as you can see is true. So this is just a vanilla sock, and this one's actually for me. But as I was knitting it, I realized it was 5 months, 5 weeks. Oh my God, can you imagine? Until Christmas, and so I really need to get crack-a-lackin' on my Christmas knitting, and I always do like a pair of socks for most people. My sister's kids love the knitted socks, so, and of course they're still growing, so they'll usually grow out of them before Christmas rolls around again. And then I think Gabe, who's the youngest, probably benefits from that because he'll get all of the hand-me-downs. He's probably got lots of socks. He may not need another pair. But so I really enjoy knitting socks for her kids. My brother's kids, I don't know if they're that into them or not. His daughter, Natalie, maybe. And I noticed she did steal her mom's pair, so so she probably enjoys the knitted socks. And I know my sister-in-law does, and my sister, of course, is always on me for getting her knitted socks. So she usually ends up getting a pair at Christmas time, but also a pair through the year as well. And my brother-in-law has now gotten into the whole knitted sock thing because the pair I knit him like 10 years ago accidentally went up in flames. It's a long story. And he felt really bad about it, but I didn't even know he still had those socks because I knitted those for him like literally 10 years ago. I figured they would have like, you know, bit the dust by now, but apparently they lasted a really long time and he uses them. So he felt really bad, but he also really wants another pair. And I had knit his out of Briggs & Little, their sock wool, which is like a kind of thick, I think might even be thicker than worsted weight. So they're a quick knit. So I bought some more gray, but I also want to kind of put in maybe some striping, some red striping around the top. Just to give it a little bit of detail so it's not all just kind of, you know, gray. So for me as well as for him, because that's going to get boring. But it's also going to knit up really quick because it's a thick yarn. And Briggs and Little actually have a sock pattern in this kind of like little cardboard leaflet that I still have kicking around somewhere that I used for him. Because I'm so used to doing it in fingering weight yarn that to switch my brain around to how I would size it for worsted weight, I just really rather have a pattern to know how much I'm casting on. And once I cast on, then I'm fine. I'll just use my regular, sock pattern. But yeah, so that's the sock. This is the first one, but I've been using this for road trips. So we went on a road trip last week to Lunenburg, like I said. Yesterday, we took a road trip to Wolfville, and if you follow me on Instagram, we went to the Tangled Garden, which is beautiful. And they were having a wedding there later in the afternoon. So they had like this whole wedding setup that was really pretty. We got to walk around in the garden and kind of see everything. And I took some pictures. So it was really pretty. And yeah, so that got a little love to and from. Thank God for air conditioning in the car, or that wouldn't have happened. Because there's nothing worse than like when you're sweating and your hands are all sweaty and you're trying to handle wool. It's just no. That's just no. So I just had this like weird thought. Did I hit the on button? Did I hit the record button? I'm just going to sit here and yammer on to myself and then get to the end and realize, oh no! This, by the way, I think is episode 60. And I believe for episode 61, I will be at the summer house, which I think we did an episode from there last summer, if I recall. Oops. So, yeah, we'll have change of venue, and where it's vacation time, I'm hoping to actually get a lot of knitting done. I'm like, yeah, that's all. I've got all these projects that I want to do and finish. So my goal is I'd love to get the shawl finished before vacation. I should be able to do that because vacation's 2 weeks away. So yeah, so I want to have the shawl done before I go on vacation because I really, really, really want to start the Color Craze by Tammy Gore, which I still have to learn how to brioche. I've watched a couple of tutorials, but I haven't actually tried it yet. So I'm going to try it before vacation so that when vacation hits, hopefully I will have it in my brain and it'll make sense to me. And I'm going to be using lifelines when I do the brioche sections because I'm not taking back brioche. So next up is the Granito sweater. Da 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 da. Like the little bird. Da 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 da. So that's by Joji Locatelli. And I said last episode that I had decided not to do the pockets. So mine is the Granito minus the pockets. And I'm knitting that out of Knit Picks Stroll Tweed in the Indigo Heather colorway. And move that over there. And I finished the body. Ta-da! Oops. So this is my, back up here. This is my, oh, my lights are blowing out. Let's see if I can, there we go. So this is the little slip stitch detailing, and I did the hem a little longer, I think, than what's called for in the pattern. I stopped the body at one point, and then I did the hem. So I think I'm going to say, so it stops kind of right here, which is right at the bottom of the curve of my waist. And I like my sweaters to kind of hit my hip bone. So I think when I block it, that'll kind of fall exactly where I want it. But let me see. let me try this on. Now that I don't have any needles that are going to fall out. I spilled something on me. I'm a mess. Okay, so this is what it would look like if it was short sleeves. So yeah, so it kind of hits. Oops. So it kind of hits, yeah, actually it's almost hitting on my hip bone right now. So I don't really want it, I probably won't aggressively block it lengthwise. I'll probably give it some width so it's got some bit of a flow, a little more ease to it, although it does have a nice amount of ease. That's not a flattering angle at all. So I still have to weave in my ends. So yeah, this was a really nice knit. I love this yarn. I love the color. I'm gonna take it off because it's warm. But I still have to do the sleeves. I don't mind doing sleeves, so I find sleeves go pretty quickly. There we go. So I'm going to, I think, where'd my pattern go? I think she's got full length. Yeah, she's got full length sleeves on them, which is good. I like, and I may do it a little longer. I usually like my sleeves to kind of come to about there. Otherwise, I'm always kind of pulling them down anyway. So I've really enjoyed this knit. It was really straightforward. I mean, I did have that screw up at the beginning where I had one of these in the right place and then one of them in the wrong place. But once I fixed that, and I mean, that wasn't the pattern. That was user error. Once I did that, it just went really simple. And I'm actually glad I didn't do the pockets, because I think where I've never done pockets before, I would have kind of made a mess of it. And there's nothing worse than getting to the point where you're almost done and then you totally F up. So, you know, I just, to avoid that. But yeah, I love the color. I love the yarn. Love the pattern. I think it's going to be fantastic. Now I just have to wait for fall, which all the people that love summer are screaming at me, shut up. I actually love summer. I just, when it gets like really, really hot and humid and it's over 30 degrees, then I'm like, bring me fall and winter. Not spring. Hate spring. I hate spring. Spring here is like, we get like maybe, I don't know, it seems to transition from winter straight into summer. And our spring is just like kind of a wetter winter, which is I think why I hate it so much. It's just disgusting. So those are my 3 projects. Well, the sweater and the Courage shawl I've kind of been showing for a little while now. You're probably sick of looking at them. I promise I'll try to finish them fast. But, let me set that over there. So, since I did say on the last episode, if I did get down to, if I finished the body of the Granito sweater, I would start my second sweater. So, here's my stupid mistake. So my next sweater is going to be the Super Simple Summer Sweater by Joji Locatelli. I'm apparently on a Joji Locatelli sweater kick. I think there. So it's just sort of, it's a shorter sweater. Now she's got it made out of, so what she used was a 50% wool, 50% cotton blend. And so here's the stupid part. I assumed because it was a summer sweater, it would be fingering weight. So I looked at how much yardage I needed, and then I bought fingering weight. But I wanted mine to be more for the fall because I don't wear some sweaters in the summer. So I bought 2 skeins each of Wool Local by Arcanite in the blue color, which is Bennett, and the charcoal gray, which is Kathy. So I bought this, but this is fingering weight. So then I'm looking at the pattern and I'm like, oh, it's worsted weight. So I was like, okay, well, that's no problem. I'll just double the yarn. Like, I'll just double strand it. And then that'll give me DK. So I swatched, and the swatch came out pretty much bang on. This has a fair bit of positive ease to it. So it was a little shy, but it's okay because it's because of the positive ease. It's not going to make it so it doesn't fit. Then I'm walking to the Loop, which is my local yarn store, because I wanted to see if they had a skein of something else, which is another story. And as I'm walking, I'm thinking about the sweater, and I was like, well, wait a minute. If I have to double the yarn, like double strand it, I'm actually going to need double the yarn. So the 4 skeins that I bought, which were 2 of this and then 2 of the blue, is only going to get me half a sweater. And so I don't know where, like, when I decided, oh, well, I'll just double strand it, that'll be fine. And then clearly math went out of my head. And anyway, so when I got there, I was like, and I was kind of walking down the street thinking, I think that's right. I think I am going to have to double strand it. And then when I clarified that when I got there, they're like, oh yeah, you're going to have to. So I ended up having to get 2 more skeins of each color, which is what I've got here because I caked up the first 2. And yeah, so this is definitely not going to be a summer sweater because this is 100% wool. It is, I think, 100%. 100% British blue-faced Leicester and fine Masham, 100% wool. So I don't know what Masham is. I assume that's the breed of sheep, perhaps. But yeah, so what ended up being a somewhat inexpensive sweater sort of doubled in price. But I'd already had the yarn. It had it caked up. I really wanted to stripe the sweater with this, and I kind of looked excuse me, I kind of looked for some other stripy sweaters that I could do in a fingering weight yarn. But they either were not, the yardage didn't fit with the amount of yarn I had, or I just wasn't crazy about the striping, because what I really like about this is kind of the thick, bold stripes. And a lot of the other ones I saw that would have fit the yardage I had in fingering weight if I did a fingering weight sweater had kind of thinner stripes. Or they had stripes, like kind of stripes going across here, and then the rest was a solid color, but I really wanted the bold stripes. So that's what I ended up buying, 2 more skeins of each. Oh, you know. So yeah, so that was that debacle. But I have started. I haven't gotten very far. I'm still on like the first bit. But I do really like how the yarn is knitting up. All right. So this is just kind of the ribbing at the beginning. So yeah, this is all I have done so far. Just the starting of the neck. And I think it'll knit up pretty quickly. It's exactly as it's built. It's a very simple sweater. And I didn't actually read through the pattern, but when I look at the picture, like, I'm not really seeing any like seaming on the sleeve, so it must just be kind of like a all-in-one or something. I don't know. Maybe you put the stitches for the sleeve on hold and then pick them up at the end. I don't know. But because I just jumped in, I didn't actually read. I didn't read the directions. So, you know, living the edge. But, so I'm really excited actually to get this underway. And I love the wool. I love the colors. Like I love that. I love that color blend together. It's kind of muted and rustic looking. I love it. Love it. So that was kind of one of my acquisitions, was I had to go and double up my yarn. So here was my other semi-tale of yarn woe. And this is just, you know what, if I just kind of took a little time and planned a little better, which is funny because I am like an uber planner, but then other times I get this idea in my head and I don't really have the information with me. I'll just go, meh, I think this will work. And, you know, sometimes it does. And other times it does not. So last weekend we went to Lunenburg and I popped into the yarn shop there, the Mariner's Daughter, which is a fantastic yarn shop. And they had these baskets, and let's see if I can find these. So this is the Ravelry basket company. And I have my bigger basket, which is way over there, which is probably almost twice the size. But I wanted a smaller one so that I could keep the project that I'm currently working on and kind of carry it around with me. The other one has all my scrappy yarn in it. And I saw this one and I love like the brighter colors. It's got orange in it. I love orange. So the Ravelry Basket Company it's actually ravelry.com. And so it says I'm just going to read this because I don't have it memorized. So this is a genuine Ravelry Bolga basket. So you can see, that's not my basket. Look at that. Look at that. That's amazing. So at Ravelry Baskets, we apply tremendous technical skill and quality assurance to fashioning our products. And I may totally butcher these names. So Akabar, Abentara, Asibia, Asa, and other weavers from Bolga Tanga, Ghana, spend countless hours stripping and dyeing elephant grass fibers into our oh my God, I can't even read the English words well. Patented colorways that are unique on the market. The rhythmic braiding of these fibers into our distinctive shapes and designs reflects years of practice, but it is the laughter and singing of the bustling Ravelry compound interwoven into the very folds of our basket that makes them so special. Your basket is biodegradable, resilient, and of the highest standard. More importantly, your purchase contributes to sustainable incomes in Ghana and brings dignity to the priceless craftsmanship of the Frafra people. True value for money. I assure you that you have not bought yourself a basket. You have bought a genuine piece of art. And honestly, look at this. Can you imagine? Like, I would love, I'm going to have to Google and just watch, see if I can find on YouTube like something showing them kind of doing the process it takes, because I mean, I've watched people do like just kind of regular loom weaving and I'm fascinated by that, but to take like elephant grass and try like I'm just staggered by the craftsmanship that goes in it. And then you got like the handles are just really nice. So that was my purchase. I didn't go in there intending to get one. I did want to get another basket. I got my first one from Molly at a homespun house. But I have started to see these kind of crop up in my area. So I was like, oh. As soon as I saw them, they had a bunch of them lined up along the top of the shelf on top of the yarn shelves. And I wanted to get one that had like some nice bright happy colors. And I'm an orange, gold, green, happy, makes me happy. So that was my purchase. And while I was there, I also purchased 4 skeins of, if anyone's watched the podcast for any length of time, you're not going to be surprised, Illimani yarn. And it's in the Baby Llama colorway, or the Baby Llama line, sorry. The colorway is dark just charcoal, and it's worsted weight. So here was my thinking. I thought, because I'd actually already spent a lot of money on the basket and I didn't want to go overboard, I thought I'll get 4 skeins. And oh my god, like as soon as I felt this yarn, they had a sample knit from one of the sweaters in Line A magazine. I can't remember which, I was going to say which episode, which edition. But so I felt the sample and it was so soft and you could just like, so I picked the yarn up and then I put it back and I was like, no, just get the basket. And then I picked the yarn up again and I was like, no, just get the basket. And I thought, well, you know, maybe I'll just get 4 skeins instead of like 5 or 6 to do a sweater, and I'll do a crop sweater. So I went up to the register with the basket and the 4 skeins. And the lady that was working there said, you know, are you sure you only want 4 skeins? Usually if you're doing a sweater, you're going to need at least 5. And I was like, no, it's okay. I'm going to do a crop sweater. So, you know, because I didn't really do the math. There's 220 yards in the skein. So I got 4, so I have 880 yards of yarn. So then I just did a search on Ravelry for crop sweaters, worsted weight, using under 900 yards. And I didn't really find any that came up that were the style that I wanted in the yardage that I needed. So I was in a bit of a pickle. So then I thought, well, I wonder how much the super simple summer sweater is. And for a small, I need 876 yards. So I have 880, which is cutting it a little close, and maybe doing a little yarn chicken, but I think I can pull it off. And I really do love the style, and this is, you know, fairly cropped. You know, it goes kind of right at your waist as opposed to like down a little further. So I think I can do it. I think I can do it. So I'm going to actually be doing of these, and I'm kind of toying with the idea of doing two at the same time. But I can't wait to knit with this yarn because it is so, so soft. So I did go to down to my local yarn shop because they carry a fair bit of Illimani, but they didn't have any of the baby llama line. And so then I looked online, and there were stores and shops that kind of carried the baby llama, but they didn't have the charcoal color that I needed. And then I looked on Ravelry for destash to see if anybody was destashing any of it, and they weren't. So I was like, okay, well, I will just do the super simple summer sweater as another winter sweater, and then this one just won't be striped. It'll just be all in one color. So, you know, that's my... So that was my acquisition. At both times, I did not really buy enough yarn, so I was able to remedy the first one, not so much the second one. So we're just going to like fly by the seat of our pants. And then the other acquisition was the basket. I love that basket. So that was pretty much it. So that's going to be what's in the queue, is going to be the second super simple summer sweater. And I'm kind of toying with the idea of sort of doing them simultaneously. But we'll see. Maybe not. I don't know. Fly by the seat of my pants on that one too. But like I said, I do need to start my Christmas knitting. So I'm going to hurry up and finish off the pair of socks that I'm knitting for myself. And then I have my array of sock yarn. Oh my God. What's this stuff, Kelly? What's all this stuff I have? Yeah, so, but I also have my, I have some of the Socks Yeah by Coop Knits, which is DK, but no, I really want those for myself. I'm such a selfish knitter. I don't mind knitting for other people, like around Christmas time. But, so I do have these that I showed you, I think, last episode, which are going to be, I think I might make some fingerless mitts out of these, or I might make a hat. I'm not sure yet. These are worsted weight, I believe, if memory serves. Where's my... 4 to 5 millimeter needle. Yeah, so these would be worsted weight. And then I also have some of the Knit Picks Wool of the Andes left over from my weekender sweater, which I really want to make another weekender sweater in gray. Maybe, we'll see. So this is 100% superwash wool, so I'm not gonna make socks out of these, but I might make like a hat, maybe, or mittens. So I may not do just socks for the Christmas knitting this year. I might do some hats as well. So we'll see. And then some. I haven't gotten to switching the fingerless mitt that I designed years ago that I knit flat and then kind of seamed up. I want to switch that around. I want to switch that around so that it's knit in the round or magic loop. So I just have to kind of wrap my brain around that. I haven't done any work on my shawl design the last couple weeks, which actually is kind of dumb because it would have made more sense to do that when it was stinking hot and it was too hot to knit, but I think it was just so hot my brain wasn't functioning either. So, but I do think what I want to do, I have to get the yarn dyed for that. But the this yarn here, that Muddy Waters that I dyed, which was my happy accident from my last dye pot session that I have no idea if I can recreate. I kind of wonder if I might use this along with which I don't have here, along with the Woodsy. I don't know if that's going to work though, because I think I wanted kind of a variegated color with 2 solids. So I don't think that's going to work. But I really want to use this for something. I'm really reluctant to put that in the shop. I've got it on 3 bases, like 1 skein on each base. So I may keep 1 for myself and put the other 2 in the shop. Which I haven't done. I haven't taken the pictures. I haven't done any dyeing because it's just been too friggin' hot on the weekends. The idea of standing over dye pots in 34-degree humidity. No. So that didn't happen. So I haven't done any dyeing lately. I am looking at maybe picking up some or ordering some DK weight yarn. I don't usually do, sometimes I'll do DK weight in the fall and winter. Thinking maybe I might do that this time around and do some sweater quantities instead of just doing kind of like just some sock yarn or whatever, like the variegated and everything. So I may do some sweaters quantity of tonals possibly coming up. So once it cools off a little. So I was going to do a shop update for the 1st of August. That's not going to happen because it's just, I don't have time and between now and then. And the weather has not been cooperating. So, yeah, so it's probably going to be September will be my next. And then I'll get some fall colors going. My favorite. So life stuff. We did do our day trip to Wolfville yesterday, and then the week, I think it was last weekend, was Lunenburg. So that's about it. I think we're going to try kayaking today. So I have not been kayaking since I tore my rotator cuff. My shoulder is back in, back to 100%. The problem I'm having now is I now have tendonitis in my opposite elbow. So, but I was kind of like, when I wake up in the morning, I think it's the worst because I'm not supposed to bend my hand this way. So anytime I do anything, I'm supposed to keep like a neutral grip or up like this. So when I sleep, I think sometimes my hand gets under me like this. So when I wake up in the morning, it feels really irritated. So I was saying to my husband, I don't know if I'm going to be able to kayak because I don't know if that's, you know. But then I thought, no, you know what? It feels fine now. So I think it was just in the morning. So I'm hoping we can get out kayaking today. And then my father-in-law is leaving to return to Toronto for about 5 or 6 weeks. So we're going to have the summer house to ourselves. So we're going to possibly move out. We're thinking about moving out there completely for the month, but it's a longer commute to and from work, which is a bit of a drag. So we may do like a few days here, a few days there, and then stay there for the weekend. And then we're there for about a week and a half for vacation. Yeah, so that's, I can't wait. I can't wait to get out there. What else? Oh, puppy news. So the breeder did, the breeding. She's, quite confident that it took, and we'll know for sure, probably in about another week, we'll know for sure. I think, she's been doing this long enough, she can usually kind of tell, get a sense of whether she believes it took, and she does. She's very confident. So which means, all things going as planned, the puppies will be born in mid to late September, and then we would be bringing them home probably around the middle of November. So we were originally planning on doing 2 puppies at once. And then when you bring 2 puppies home at the same time from the same litter, they're very bonded to each other, which makes the training more difficult because they're paying attention to each other and they're more bonded with each other than they are with you. So I thought I know I'm the one that's probably going to be doing a fair bit of the training because I have more experience with it than my husband does, and I enjoy it, and it's just, I love to do it anyway. But I thought, we haven't had a puppy in the house for almost 10 years. And I've never had two dogs at once before. So I thought, to me, and just from a training and the amount of work a puppy is perspective, why don't we stagger it? So we're going to get one from this litter, and then the next breeding she does, we're going to get one from that litter. So there'll be a bit of a time span, around probably 6 months to a year between the two puppies, which will give me time to get the first one trained and kind of like acclimated to the house and bonded to us, and then bring the other one in, and then do it all over again. So I think that's just going to make the whole thing more manageable, because I was really starting to get stressed out and anxious about, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Like, two puppies, that's a lot of work. Am I going to be able to manage that? Work has been so crazy busy. I've got a book deadline looming. And I was just like, I just felt like I was taking on more than I could possibly do properly. And I don't want to muck up the training of the dogs and the bonding with the dogs, and then have the experience of having the dogs be less than what it should be. So I think for us to have the best experience and for the puppies to have the best experience, it made more sense to stagger it. So we're going to get the male first, because the females are generally more calmer and easier to train from my experience. Watch, I could be totally wrong. But so we'll get the male trained and get him. And John wants to get the male first, but I'm adamant that I have a female dog, because really I'm the only woman in the house, and I would like to get a little more estrogen power going under this roof. So we're going to get the male first, get him trained, and then bring the female in and get her trained. And then we're going to have two puppies in the house. But yeah, so we are going to stagger it. But by November, fingers crossed, everything goes as planned, we'll have the new puppy in the house, which is good because that kind of comes after we get back from vacation. So we'll have the whole kind of time where we're not going to be like going off somewhere and then having to put them in the kennel, because I don't want to put them in the kennel until they've had all their immunizations and all that. And then it'll lead into the holidays, which my poor Christmas tree. So it'll lead into the holidays where I have I think I've got a full 2 weeks, maybe a little more time off. And I saved some vacations so that once we get the puppy, I'm going to take 2 half days a week where I'm going to be home. Then my husband is going to come home 1 lunch hour to kind of let the pup out originally. And then we're going to hire somebody to come in and do the other 2 days. And then, of course, we're home on the weekends. So that's the plan. I'm so excited. We just miss Cedar so much, and it's so empty not having a dog in this house. And I've had one person say, well, do you think you're rushing into it like you just lost Cedar? And it's like, well, yes, we did lose Cedar only a few months ago, and we still miss Cedar. We are going to continue to miss Cedar even when we bring the new puppy in, because Cedar was an awesome dog. I still miss my dog that I had before Cedar. Cooper was an amazing dog. I miss Cooper. I'm never going to stop missing the dogs that have gone. But I love having a dog. I love the experience of having a dog. I love bringing a dog up from a puppy and watching their personalities develop, it brings me so much joy. I'm just like a 100% complete dog person. So it's not, I don't think it's like an affront to Cedar's memory to bring new puppies in now as opposed to later, because if I do it now, I'm still missing Cedar. If I do it later, I'm still going to be missing Cedar. So it just seems silly not to have a dog in the house, because we're good dog people and we can give a dog a great home. And to me, a house is always better if there's a dog in it. So that makes me happy. That's what I'm doing. So there's some people that don't agree with that. They think I should leave more morning time because apparently they think I can't do two things at once. I don't know. So anyway, that's my rant. There's my rant. It really kind of ticked me off when somebody sort of suggested that the other day, and I was just like, shut up. So anyway, rant over. So anyways, yes, that's, I think, everything. So I'm going to let you guys go and try to get this up and edited before the end of the day. And I will see you guys in 2 weeks, probably at the summer house. So hope everybody has a great 2 weeks of knitting. And I hope it's not too stinking hot where you are, which makes it hard to knit. And I will see you guys soon. So until then, happy knitting. See ya.